Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Unpopular Review. This is your SummerSlam 2021 review show. I am Big Daddy Cool, and I am joined by the incomparable, the enigmatic Steph. Why,
The thing,
Duviella.
I feel like I dropped my tag name, so everybody doesn't have like a moniker to call me anymore. So
I
like Big
know.
Daddy Cool, it's like I don't have one of those. But anyway, just to get to the show, how's everybody doing? Hi, how's everybody doing?
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining me, Steph. We have a lot to cover here for WWE SummerSlam. But if you guys are new to Unpopular Review, we love talking about wrestling. We love reviewing movies, TV shows, all that stuff. Please make sure you like and subscribe to Unpopular Review, whether you are watching us on Facebook or on YouTube. We want to talk about SummerSlam with you. Please drop your comments in the chat, and we are going to discuss everything with you. I'll run you down through the whole card. We're going to talk about the results. We're going to talk about our reactions. Lots of surprises. We got Becky Lynch coming back. We got Brock Lesnar coming back. We've got, and then there's, again, the results. What surprises? Great matches. I think we had one match of the year candidate tonight in this entire card, but a lot of people very skeptical about this pay-per-view, this show, saying that based upon the debut of CM Punk that happened Friday night, that this show was not getting as good a vibe or doing business to get people hyped. I guess I'm one of the few, I assume, that feel this was probably the best pay-per-view they've pulled off, WWE's pulled off in years. Years. Steph, overall, what were your thoughts on the whole show?
I would say from top to bottom, it was an amazing show. I think aside from the Jinder Mahal, Drew McIntyre match, which I was really not interested in, the rest of the card was pretty good. The surprises, like you said, were amazing. I think for many of us, we saw the two go home shows and we were like, all right, this is gearing up to be really crappy time and a real waste of about 3 or 4 hours of our lives. But WWE pulled out every possible surprise that they could. And truly, I'm sports entertained tonight. I have 2 nights in a row lost my voice. So that is normally a good sign that it was a really great pay-per-view.
That's absolutely right. You did. I saw you did the SmackDown review show last night, and were struggling, but you sound okay right now. I mean,
I,
you're
I
getting
try
by.
I tried not to yell as much for those bigger moments, so like the Becky Lynches and the John Cena's kick out at 2.5, or like I tried to compose myself because we knew we had a show to do tonight, so
Yeah.
I didn't wanna like exhaust my voice too much.
No, I hear you, man. I hear you. Let's start off with the main event of the show. Let's talk about John Cena versus Roman Reigns. This was for the SmackDown Universal Championship. Listen, it had a big fight feel, and it was a big fight. Cena comes out with a new shirt. For all of Roman's trash talking about missionary position for the last 15, 20 years, being the same position. Our boy Cena comes out with a new shirt. Really good match in my opinion. It started off excessively slow, but I think that was to draw up heat for Roman. And I don't know how you feel about it, but I was on Twitter telling everybody my opinion, and my God, was Roman Reigns has got to get kudos for being the one guy in a 15-year career of John Cena. This man has not overwhelmingly been over with the crowd. I was just recently, because CM Punk came back, I was watching the pipe bomb promo, and he was going up against John Cena in an arc at that time, and you could hear the fans that were pro Cena were kids, and the pro CM Punk ones were obviously all the adults. Here, for the first time, you have everybody overwhelmingly over with John Cena. How good of a heel is Roman Reigns to be
I, th-
able to get that done?
I think he's an amazing heel. I think you have to give Roman
Steph seems to be having some trouble with his connection at the moment. But yeah, I honestly think, and we're going to start reading through your comments right now, but I honestly think that Roman is extremely, extremely talented right now, and he is hitting at a different level than we've ever seen before. He is the only guy that has been able to get people to cheer for John Cena. Crazy, crazy. We got George Lewis. Let's get to some of these comments. We got George Lewis watching us on YouTube. What's going on, George? He says, my goodness, that ending was good. Yes, it was, sir. Yes, it was. We got Elvis Martinez watching us on Facebook. Woo! Excellent, excellent match. We got Steph being back. Steph, your
yeah.
thoughts on the match and Roman?
First off, like I was saying, Roman deserves all the credit in the world. I think that he's improved his character to a level where he's literally Hall of Fame worthy now. I think he always has been a shoo-in for Hall of
Wow.
Fame, but I think at this point, this character, this version of Roman is the version of Roman that he needs to be all the time. You can make transitions and tweaks to this Roman, but I think from where he started when he first came in to the main roster and where he is now, leagues ahead of himself. And this match showed it. Like you said, he is the only person in a 15-year period of time that is able to get Cena fully over. And that's a big thing. Like Cena has been a very polarizing figure. For the first time, he wasn't polarizing at all. It was actually Reigns who was more polarizing in this match, and it was Cena who was just the clear favorite. Just like to even win this match, like the match was super back and forth. It had moments that had you at the edge of your seat, and the finish. Because I thought it was so beautifully put together. Whoever put together the match, it was just such a beautiful finish. Because even me and my brother were watching it together, and we're both cheering for Cena. When Roman kicked out of that top rope AA, I threw my hat across the room because we both were like, "Yo, just 17 was so important." And I think even in losing, Cena hasn't lost his over status. There can be a run it back 3 times, you know what I mean, if need be.
Yep.
But at the same time, Roman himself has now, he's unbeatable, and you had to bring out somebody who is equally as unbeatable in his own right. And I feel like pulling the Brock trigger, especially with CM Punk last night, and I'll make an admission, I was one of the people that said, all right, well, WWE's up Shit's Creek because of CM Punk going to AEW. But WWE once again proved that we are the premier wrestling company. Like you brought back Becky Lynch on the same night, you brought back Brock Lesnar. And
Yep.
Lesnar looked, for all intents and purposes, like a beast, super jacked, walked right up to Reigns, and yeah, we're getting that fight. We're running that one back as well. So I just thought this was such great storytelling. And anytime you get into a situation where there's great storytelling, I mean, you're going to be sports entertained. So WWE is amazing at that when they got their back against the wall.
Nice job. Nice recap, Steph. I absolutely agree. I mean, this really kind of drove the point home right before the match. We saw, at least when I was going through Twitter, we saw Raj Giri. He is the guy that runs WrestlingInc.com. And he says, it's up to Roman Reigns and John Cena to save this show. I don't underestimate them. It could happen. Going into this match, Steph, did you feel like the show needed to be saved by Roman Reigns and John Cena?
I think the main event spot is the most important spot of the show, obviously, and we've talked previously about it on UPR about how important that spot is and how important the wrestlers who are wrestling within that spot are to the show. Obviously, anything that happens before the main event, it's hit or miss, and you can, like you could be anywhere in the card and you could kind of mess up, so to speak. But main event, you had to kind of elevate the show. That's the end of the show. That's literally what's going to be the takeaway for people to bring them back, to draw them back in. And I didn't think that the show needed Roman and Cena to save it, but I do think that in the spot they were positioned in, they had a responsibility that they could not drop the ball on, and they had to bring it. And I know that less like Ron and I spoke about match of the night being Seth Rollins versus Edge, or even Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair, which we're gonna get to later. But I think that Roman and Cena brought something to the table that nobody expected from both of them. And literally this match was, in my opinion, match of the night. I screamed it before I even got on the show. I'm like, match of the night.
Yeah. I don't know. I felt like there was another match on the card that was match of the night, and that was Edge versus um, Seth Rollins. Let's get to some of these chats here. Let's see. Alejandro is watching us on YouTube, and he says, I was waiting for an F5 from Lesnar. Lesnar's
As was I.
appearance at the end of this match was pretty stellar, not expected. I thought if they didn't hit Brock's music, I would have been happy nonetheless. But here they hit the music and they made him come out, and wow, man, I was just shocked. Shocked, shocked, shocked. Let me see. There was another comment. Brock Lesnar is back. We got Becky Lynch back. Somebody was asking the question. Where am I seeing this? I think I missed it. There we go. Here we go. Jamie, watching us on YouTube, said, I wonder if Heyman goes back to Lesnar. You saw, I was really paying attention a little bit to Roman, but more to Heyman. What was he going to do? And he looked shook. He looked scared.
It gives you that CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar vibe, and how scared he was during that feud, because obviously he turned on Lesnar during that feud, or rather CM Punk during that feud. So I think that might just be a thing, like who's his allegiance truly with at the end of the day, seeing that his top guy is back now.
Yep. Absolutely. So really, really good main event. Let's talk about the other big match that everybody was looking forward to, and it is very, very a lot of people were very critical of this match. I don't know if you can really officially call it a match because it was just so quick. Sasha Banks, they were promoting and promoting and promoting. In the dirt sheets, it was a question of whether she was going to show up. Obviously, she hasn't shown up on SmackDown for 2 weeks. So you got Bianca, but you didn't get Sasha, and everybody was like, where's Sasha? Where's Sasha? Where's Sasha? Even minutes to the match, WWE is promoting Sasha. Sasha's going to be there. Okay, Sasha is going to be there. Bianca comes out, and you hear the announcer say, hey, Sasha's not here. We don't know. She's unable to compete. Everybody's speculating about that. I'm not going to get into that. But then Carmella comes out to take her spot, and everybody starts booing. Twitter's on fire. This is trash. This is garbage. And then you get Becky Lynch's music hit. The place popped huge. Again, everybody is saying that CM Punk's return was super huge. I felt like this was hit a little different, only because, granted, it's a lot more than just 20,000 people that were supposedly in the United Center the night before, but it is also closed. And you have 50,000 people in Allegiant Stadium, open roof, so it doesn't have the same pop, but still you felt it at home. It was big. Becky debuts and challenges Bianca, and Bianca accepts. I honestly thought there was a pause there. I honestly thought this would have been a great time for Bianca to be like, nah, I'm not, and just walk away. Turn heel right there. It would have been easy, but she, like the good babyface she is, she says, yes, I'll take the match, and then ends up getting jobbed out to Becky Lynch in like less than 30 seconds. Becky debuts a new finish called the Manhandle Slam. Steph, what'd you think about this?
This is one of the matches that I could not, like, I tried my hardest not to scream for, because I feel like in the beginning, like you said, there was the bait and switch, which was Carmella coming out, everybody booing, us saying, we're not going to run this one back. And then obviously having Becky come forward. And like you said, that heel dynamic that could have been played, that heel card that could have been like, no, I'm not, which would have fed this story for Becky to come in at Extreme Rules and win that title there. It kind of was avoided, and we went, pretty much typical WWE route, but it worked. And Becky Lynch wins the SmackDown Women's Championship back. the championship she's never lost. So, or like I feel like I feel good, honestly. It was a good. It was. I'm about to call it a match when it wasn't even that. It was a good bait and switch. That's what I'll say. And I'm glad Becky Lynch is back. I think literally like the pop you talked about, bait and switch, all that other stuff. It was amazing.
I have no problem with the finish. The fact that I wish they would have given him some time, but let's be real. Becky versus Bianca Belair. Bianca obviously being the main event of WrestleMania Night 1 this past year, and Becky Lynch being the main event of WrestleMania in a previous year, I think in 2019.
Yep.
The two of them being in a main event is a WrestleMania type quality main event, right? Why would you give that match away here at SummerSlam with one, no build, two, for free practically? I mean, granted, people paid for SummerSlam if you paid for Peacock or whatever. But or even bought a ticket, right? We had the executive consultant. He's there live. Maybe he'll pop in and join us from the parking lot when he gets out and is sober enough to join us. But if you paid for a ticket to see Sasha and Bianca, why would you not pay another full price admission ticket to go see Becky versus Bianca, the match, the whole setup? Like, to me, that makes sense. What are your thoughts, Steph?
I think sometimes you just gotta pull the trigger on something, and WWE is the type of company that is gonna have, I said this last night. They have a plan, and I was one of those people that thought that they weren't gonna pull the Becky trigger tonight, and I said it last night, so I can be wrong. So I want to admit my wrong from last night, but also I feel like it was a good moment. I really feel like that, it was a really good moment. You know what I mean? And Kervin, thank you so much for correcting me. It was actually the Raw title. She did not lose, not the SmackDown title. She lost SmackDown to Bailey. Thank you so much for reminding me that. I really appreciate that. I really like. I feel like it was worth it. I feel like sometimes you got to do something that's surprising, out of the blue with no build, just to like, you know, it was a bait and switch. I can't
But
complain
Steph,
about a good bait and switch.
I hear that stuff, but to get the people, I know where you were going with, right? Is you'd give them the match to get the people talking, but guess what? They're already talking because Becky Lynch is back, right? So
I
like,
mean, would you have rather? Okay, so here's my thing. Would you have rather Becky Lynch just walked out, get in Bianca's face, and walk away, and then just leave the situation like that? Because that could have been a possibility. They could have built up to Extreme Rules just by having her come out after her beating Carmella, and then walked right in her face and walked away. But they're already planning to do that at the end of the night with Brock. So, do you think that would have been an overuse of that?
no, because here's the thing. Leading up to, so take Becky out of the equation entirely, and if Sasha was able to compete tonight, I still think Sasha would have won the belt. Regardless of whether it was
Yo, then
Sasha or Becky, she was losing. Bianca was losing the belt. As a face, let's face it, and you mentioned this on your SmackDown review. Bianca as a face just is not hitting the way as she was when she was chasing for this title for WrestleMania. And even then, like, she still didn't kind of hit the way Bianca in NXT or even Royal Rumble Bianca did. And so that's a problem. And I honestly chalk it up to a bunch of internet wrestling fans that just aren't happy with baby faces. Once the chase is over, they get tired. It's like, you know, if a guy goes after a girl and then gets, you know, the end game is over, then it's stale. So the thrill is in
I
the
mean, I can
chase,
agree with
right?
that. I mean, I can
So
agree with that. I think with Nikki Ash, it's the same aesthetic. It's the same aesthetic with Nikki Ash. That's why she lost tonight. I don't want to spoil that, but or jump ahead. But same aesthetic with Nikki Ash. Nikki Ash was the babyface thing is not working for her. You know what I mean? So I do agree with you in that point.
yeah, you're right, and we're gonna get to Nikki Ash in a couple of matches in next. But whether it be Becky or Sasha, like, and I was expecting Sasha to take the belt. So now the question is, what's next for Becky, right? As Becky is the new champion, right? Let me throw up a picture of our new champ as There she is. Hold on. I gotta find it. Where did I put it? There we go. There's a picture of our new champ right there holding up the SmackDown Women's Championship. And then here's a picture of all the people that were in the audience. Here's a reaction of, there's AEW guys crying because Becky Lynch is back. Oh my God, Becky. So, yeah, people were very emotional by Becky's return. Let me catch up with these chats. Has anyone talked to Chastity and her daughter about Bianca losing the SmackDown Women's Championship? No, not yet. I think that they're setting up a match between Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch at Survivor Series. Oh, that might be interesting. So is there anyone on Raw to challenge Lashley? Goldberg. We're going to get to that next.
Yes, we are.
Don't you think Bianca was hurt and wasn't cleared, so she had to lose? Bianca, I don't think, was hurt. Or maybe she was. I don't know. Maybe I haven't heard that reported in any of the dirt sheets. I thought this was all COVID related. That's all I'll get into with that. But Sasha was obviously cleared to be in the ring, and especially with the man. So I think, the issue was more on Sasha's part, but, why there wasn't a full match, I don't know. Does this hurt Bianca? I personally don't think so. Bianca is already one of the toughest SOBs in real life, not only in wrestling, right? You've seen her bench press, pick up Otis, bench press all kinds of things. In NXT, she won like NXT Olympics that they showed on YouTube. She's legit. Like she's beaten Becky. She's beaten Sasha. She's beaten Bayley. She's legit. She can afford, like Kofi, she can afford taking a 28-second L to pretty much the Austin of this era in the women's division. Let's be real. So I don't think it's as bad as everybody makes it seem. Plus, there's more money in the rematch. There's more money in the build, in doing it right, than just, having them run out there for 5-10 minutes and then just, nobody, you've seen the match. So why do you give a fuck? Those are my feelings on it. Jamie says that's why they should have done the match. Have Lynch come in and challenge Belair at SmackDown or Extreme Rules. Zoli, what's going on? Zoli watching us on YouTube says, what's up? The two BBs are back, Becky and Brock. That's right. Ava got screwed over. She should have won. I've got a lot to say about that match. Sasha's, okay, got it. Yes, we know. I think so. I think we already know. I can see a rematch between Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair. See, I'm telling you, George, this is where the money is. The money is in the rematch. They're going to put this back together. Yeah, it don't hurt Belair because really there is no challengers for SmackDown's women's title. See, so she's going to be the next woman up. Derek watching us on Facebook. What's up, Derek? He says WWE is about to reset everything with the season premiere and the WWE draft. All right, guys, you're watching Unpopular Review. If you are just tuning in, I'm Big Daddy Cool, and I'm joined by Steph Lover, Steph the Man, Steph, and we are. I'm still looking for a moniker for you. Maybe Steph Lover. I don't know.
No, we're gonna figure it out eventually.
That one's already retired, so I think we can call you Steph Lover. Yeah, if you're watching Unpopular Review for the first time, please make sure you like, love, share this feed and broadcast with all your wrestling friends and buddies, family members, anybody that loves wrestling. You want to share this. We love talking about wrestling here on Unpopular Review. Please check us out on Facebook. Give us a follow, and please also subscribe on our YouTube if you haven't already. Let's talk about this next match, Goldberg versus Lashley. In my opinion, the match went too long, and it was hella funny to me that at the end of the match, so pretty much the story is that Goldberg gets incapacitated by Lashley. Lashley put down such an ass whipping on this guy that Goldberg couldn't continue, and thank you, Jamie. That's very nice. You guys are the best to watch. Thank you, Jamie. And so Lashley put the hurt on this on Goldberg, and Goldberg couldn't continue. Oh, the ref had to stop it because Lashley's kicking too much ass. And I love as the match just ends, right? And they officially call the match. You don't. MVP is off camera, and all you see is just a black chair just slide into the middle of the ring. And I said, oh, apparently he did not kick enough ass because we're about to see some more ass kicking. And Lashley took it to this fool with this chair, and then Gage shows up. You knew Gage was going to come in because they kept feeding us some Gage nonsense. Gage jumps on the back of Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley flips this man over and in one fell swoop puts this guy in the hurt lock and washes him easily. And I love MVP. He comes in and goes, whoa, 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 whoa. It's, listen, we didn't know it was him. It could have been anybody. It could have been anybody. And Goldberg says he's going to kill Bobby Lashley. Steph, obviously, this is not over. So is Lashley going to keep fighting with Goldberg?
I want to keep my answer short and sweet for this one because I feel like there's no need to really be over wordy at this point. Yes, to that question. He's going to continue to fight him. Obviously, he choked out his son. Yes. And two, I think that like for most people, we're looking at Blood Money as one of the next pay-per-views up.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
So for the smart fans, we thought that Goldberg was going to take the belt off of Lashley, which is probably going to happen at Extreme Rules. Now that they're going to go to Rhea and the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia loves old people. So, yes.
Fuck. Yeah, you got a good point there. You got a good point.
Short and sweet and concise.
Yep. Yep. Oh, shit. You just booked it. There you go, everybody. Breaking news. Steph calls it. He's saying Lashley is going to lose the title at Extreme Rules to Goldberg just to set up Saudi WrestleMania 4, 5? I don't know.
Yes. And the reason I say that, guys, is with Brock coming back and challenging Roman, there's nobody on the Raw side that can challenge Lashley at this point. So we have to continue this feud. And obviously going into Saudi Arabia, they're going to want Goldberg. He's going to want one old person on that show, and Goldberg is the only active old person. So.
Yeah. He's a marquee name. You got Brock coming in to make this money. You got Goldberg to make this money. Edge is making this money. Like, come on now. Let's be real. It's all about the money, man. All about the money.
Literally, all about the dollars.
SmackDown is going to be interesting to watch on Friday. Absolutely agree with you there, George. Elvis says that was the best part of tonight when Lashley made Goldberg's son pass out.
That's so. Wait, first off, Elvis, that is child abuse. I thought you loved the kids. What are you doing, bro?
Oh my God, I didn't upload this picture. Oh Jesus, I wanted to. Forget it. Check out our Twitter. I'll put up the picture on our Twitter. You can catch us on Unpopular Review right below me, right there. That's our handle. I'll put up the picture. There's a picture of Bobby Lashley in black and white, and it says, "Fuck them kids." I didn't upload it here. That is what it is. All right, Steph, let's talk about this next match. Rhea, Charlotte Flair, Nikki Ash for the Raw Women's title. A lot of people, when the Bianca thing happened with Carmella, Bianca, Becky Lynch, everybody was like, why not make it a triple threat? It should have been a triple threat and have Becky wash Carmella, not Bianca. Well, the reason for that is because they already had a triple threat match for the women's title on the card already. And I got to be honest with you, like, there's been so much criticism on Nikki Ash for her shitty character. I honestly think it works. I like it. She's been the most over that she's ever been in this character. Most successful. She's not really getting over. But you saw here a really excellent match between all three of them. And I guess I shouldn't be shocked because, again, Nikki Cross can go, Charlotte can definitely go, and Rhea can go. And this was a really good triple threat match, in my opinion. You had Charlotte win the match with a figure eight on Nikki Ash. How many titles is this for Charlotte now?
I believe it's 12. I believe it's 12. I think she's a 12-time world champion, 12 or 13, which is really amazing. She's trying to surpass her father, and I can see why John lost tonight. It makes so much more sense with Charlotte winning and John losing tonight.
That's a good point. I actually thought they were probably going to try and break Ric Flair's
Flair's
record since he just left. We have like our own personal, all the unpopular review hosts. We have like a chat and we put in our guesses. And I guessed that Cena was going to win. I always like betting what I think is not going to happen.
I
In
bet
the off
Cena was
chance,
going to win too. I bet Cena too, and I was so pissed off about that. I feel like me and you, like, we literally do it for UPR champion. So I was like coming back. I was like telling my brother, I'm like, it'd be ironic if I first come back to UPR and then become UPR champ. So
yep.
it's like I got like 3 wrong. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, I always
But
go out there and I mean, I picked that Ava Marie against Alexa, which I
I
thought she was going to fucking win, but
I,
eh.
I I saw the way she's treating Dewdrop on Monday, and that was not happening.
Oh, come on,
Exactly.
Roman. Oh, Roman don't believe you. Roman,
It
come
does
on,
not.
Roman.
Absolutely not.
Roman is not feeling me on my pick about evolution, but we'll
Yeah,
get to
that
her in a
was
little
terrible.
bit. The way this match ended. First off, I don't have a picture of Charlotte, but Charlotte was wearing purple to signify Thanos, and in the middle of her, I guess, the middle of her boobs, her cleavage, like she had all the Infinity Stones.
Nice.
So yeah, I didn't notice that until I saw Shayna Baszler tweet it out, and I said, "Oh shit, I guess she was Thanos." I don't know.
Literally,
So what I found interesting about the finish of the match and the way that it was booked is usually if you are like a Vince McMahon babyface, like a Hulk Hogan, like an Austin, like a Rock, you're not tapping out to your heel's finish, especially a submission move, right? Austin blacked out, right? Hogan, I can't remember when he tapped out. Like, if you're the baby face that Vince wants you to be, Vince is protecting you. Did we see that here? Nope. And that leads me to believe that Vince is giving up on Nikki Ash, and we're probably seeing the end of this experiment, despite having a really, really good match here. What were your thoughts on the match and the finish?
I like the match. I feel like you said, it was really back and forth. All of these women can go, so it's extremely amazing to see when 3 professional wrestlers just go in there and kind of leave it all out in the ring. And there were some really nice breakups. There was a figure eight onto Rhea Ripley during the match, and Nikki Ash had the breakup. And then right after that, um, Rhea Ripley broke up a pin that Nikki Ash had, which was really great. It was literally great in terms of pacing, and I really enjoyed the fact that Charlotte Flair won. I enjoyed it for a lot of reasons because the safest hands for the belt to be in at this point is Charlotte Flair's. Unfortunately, a lot of people were upset about it, but during the match, she essentially, and if you heard by crowd reaction, she basically like was the favorite at that point. Like there was a point in the match where Charlotte is pulling off her greatest hits, and everybody's completely behind her winning. And
Yep.
I feel like it overshadowed Nikki and also Rhea in a little bit, not a lot, but just a little bit. But it was a pretty interesting pop for her. And when she won, I marked out because I'm a huge Charlotte fan. Everybody who knows me knows that I'm a
Hmm.
super huge Charlotte fan. But um, I I feel like the right person won.
I am too, and I think Charlotte, being that already you had Becky debut and become SmackDown champion, this made sense for Charlotte to win the title.
Exactly.
Um, I thought that if Becky was going to go to Raw, then maybe Rhea should win, or even Charlotte. But now it made more sense for either Nikki to hold on to the title if Vince was like, "You're gonna like her by hook or by crook." But that wasn't the case. Vince obviously loves Charlotte a hell of a lot more than he does Nikki Ash. Let's be real. The money's in Charlotte Flair. She's a superstar. Let's get to these comments right here. George says, I do believe Nikki Ash will get a rematch. Most likely she will, but I think
I'm a little shaken with that because Charlotte's already beat her on free TV and beat her on pay per view now, so it's the second loss that Nikki has taken to Charlotte. So I mean, could she get a rematch hypothetically? Yes. But is it necessary having that Charlotte already beat her twice and you could do something else? I mean, at this point, there's a claim because Nikki was pinned. So Rhea
Hmm.
has actively a reason to go and pursue Charlotte once again.
Hmm.
So she was not pinned. So you may go that route, or you may do another triple threat at Extreme Rules. So I don't know, George, if it's a one-on-one rematch for it. And if it is on Monday, it'll probably be on Monday Night Raw, and she'll probably lose. To be honest.
Mm, mm. We'll have to tune in tomorrow night for that and the RK Bro celebration. We'll get into that in a second. Patrick is asking, when is the draft again? Initially they said that it was going to happen like at the end of August. Like I guess they wanted to do it like right after SummerSlam to just hit a hard reset. But I have my hopes because I have a ticket to the Madison Square Garden SmackDown that they hold off and do it on that show because it's a super show. So fingers crossed that they hold off for another couple of weeks. It's also, I think, September 11th show or September 12th, somewhere around there. Brett is telling us that it is Charlotte's 16th reign. Derek is saying it's the 12-time
It's
champion.
12.
I believe it's 12 if you don't count the NXT
It's,
titles. If you count the NXT titles, it is
it's 16.
14.
Yeah. At some, sorry, go back. The comment said at some point, bro.
Oh, sorry. At some point, if you keep bringing your big stars back to lose, they stop bringing the big match feel with them. Which match are you? Which big star are you talking about? Cena? Cena's always gonna be big. Like even if he takes an L to Roman, he's still gonna feel big. I don't know if that's who you're alluding to, or
Or maybe
it might be
Goldberg.
somebody else.
Maybe Goldberg.
Oh, Goldberg. Goldberg. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Goldberg also lost tonight, so I mean, I
I
can see why you say that. I can see why you say that generally, but I mean, like people like Cena and Goldberg, they're always going to be over in some capacity. Cena even more so now, given his this run itself. If you like look at his whole career and then just this run, and Steven alluded to this earlier, he is more over now than he has ever been,
hmm,
literally in terms of being a clear face and a clear favorite. You know what I mean?
hmm.
So going forward, I'm assuming that John goes and films another couple of movies and then he comes back as a special attraction, sort of like Brock Lesnar, if you will. He's never going to be a full time wrestler again. He said it on many interviews. So Goldberg himself, he's probably going to win the title next month. So is he really not? Is he really being jobbed out and it's not going to have a big fight feel next month? Probably will. So I don't completely agree with it, but I see what you're saying.
Yep. I did see that Ryan Satin. I think he was Ryan Satin on Twitter said the same thing that he felt like Goldberg looked like you can't treat your legends like that because then they lose their luster. So I think that's kind of the same thing what Brett was alluding to. Although Brett was referring to Cena.
Cena,
He
yeah.
says Cena they already screwed up the big match feel with Goldberg. That's lost long gone.
Uh, Cena, I feel like the job in wrestling, and Undertaker kind of alludes to this in every one of his interviews more recently. It's your job as a, like when you get older and you're on your way out, is to put people over as much as possible, put the younger generation over as much as possible. Lashley is the younger generation, so Goldberg obviously is going to put him over. And at this point, Cena's going back to Hollywood. Roman Reigns is literally the standard bearer for SmackDown at this point. He's the reigning, or as Paul Heyman said, the reigning, defending Universal Heavyweight Champion. So
Hmm.
obviously Cena's going to give him the rub, and I feel like Cena's done it before, and he did it again tonight. But he didn't sacrifice himself at all within this match. He looked amazing. He kept up. He did more than just survive, and I think his thing was 1, 2, 3, and we got a lot of 1, 2, 2.5. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So I don't think he gave himself any kind of. It wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, I think Cena's gonna be all right. Cena's Cena. Um, let's talk about the next match. Another title match was AJ and Omos versus RK Bro. This was the opening match of SummerSlam. I thought this was an interesting choice to open because you usually want to open up hot, and I was like, well, Vince must be banking on the fact that everybody wants to see RK Bro win these titles, and he was right. When they win, like the place goes ape shit. Like, that crowd was super hot for them. What were your thoughts on RK Bro winning the title?
Okay, so I feel in one sense this was gonna happen. We didn't even have to discuss it. This was a no brainer. And we mentioned our kind of like pulling the curtain back a little bit. We have a group chat and all putting our picks. And I feel like 100% of us chose RK Bro winning this match. Like we were not going to not see them become tag champions tonight. And obviously it was a really good transition. I mean, AJ almost have been dominant champions, but after a while you have to switch up those champions and you're going to build a story with Riddle and Orton, and we'll see where it goes. And, Orton has a really bad track record with his tag team partners, and he's always betraying them. So we'll see where that goes. But at the end of the day, I felt like the right people won this match, and it was amazing. The pop was amazing after they won. The celebration was amazing. The executive consultant got fist bumped by Riddle, who is a personal friend of his. So I feel like this all happened in the span of that one entire match. So extremely great match. Congratulations to the new tag champions.
Absolutely. Very glad to see RK Bro. George is also happy. He says RK Bro, he's happy that they won the titles. It was definitely a good show. Good opening match. Hey, and what about like AJ Styles? Like AJ Styles did this springboard scorpion death drop. The dude is like 44, and the fact that he's like as agile is amazing to me.
Bro, he's doing his greatest hits, and I feel like it's because his career is winding down, and there's a limited amount of things he can actually do with his body. And he's mentioned this in interviews, and he said, "Look, I'm not gonna be able to go forever. I got at least 2 or 3 more good years left." And to hit a springboard scorpion death drop onto Riddle, I believe, who sold it like a champ. Like
Mm-hmm.
Riddle looked like he had got hit by a car or something. Like his leg was switching and everything. It was just an amazing thing to see. So I really popped for that move, and it was really, honestly, it was a really good match.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. They even teased a celebration or some sort. Riddle said he's got a surprise for Randy Orton on Monday night. So I guess that's the tease to kind of keep this fresh in everybody's mind. Um,
Imagine if it's the final flash. Imagine if he is the final flash knee on Randy Orton.
he's not going to do
Just
that. That's not
I just imagine what people would say if Orton is finally in his career of turning on people is finally the one turned on. Like how interesting a storyline would that be? I know WWE will never do it, but just imagine people, or he comes out, everybody celebrating. Randy goes up to his thing, Riddle pulls him down, pushes him against the ropes, hits the final flash knee strike. I I would I would go insane. I would go insane.
Yep. Oh, looks like we're being joined by possibly the exact. Let me see if he can. Yeah, let me see. I don't know if he's on yet. Let's see. Let me bring him on. Let me see. So the executive consultant, the other host of Unpopular Review here, Chris Harris, was live at SummerSlam. He was in Allegiant Stadium. Let's see if we can bring him on. Chris, are you there? Chris? Oh, there he is.
He, Senor,
Oh, his internet, it seems to be real choppy. Let me take
yeah,
him off for now. Chris, I hope you can get your internet working right, because you look like Elvis right now.
but
Let's,
but
let me try him. All I'll do is see his hand. Send me a message when you are ready to come on, and put your pants on for Christ's sake. Jesus Christ! It
please,
looks like
man.
he's in the hotel room. Oh, there he is. He's back. You back?
Doesn't have pants on.
I saw you was in your hotel room in the bed already. How'd you get to the bed already?
I'm sitting down. I'm not in my hotel room anyway.
Look at
Yeah,
this man.
I
He
don't even
already
know I'm
lost his
on here. I
voice.
don't know why you told me to get on. Yeah, I'm about to say, I don't know why you told me to get on. I lost my voice, man. It was a crazy event.
Yeah. Well, tell us about it, man. How did it feel? Big feel. Big. A lot of people pumped over in
It
Vegas.
was they definitely delivered a show from beginning to end with a lot
Hmm.
of action. I mean, I don't know if it was better in WrestleMania, but it was up there. Yeah, it might have been. I'm a little I'm a,
Derek says you're in the boiler
I'm a
room of
little
mankind.
can't tell you how upset I am that Bianca Belair lost the way she did, though.
Oh yeah, you were tight. What what was the reaction in the stadium when Bianca? First off, explain to us or tell us and describe to us what it felt like to like hear Becky Lynch be announced when her music hits. Like, what did you all think? Did we lose him? Oh.
Somebody.
You keep cutting in and out, Chris. Anyways, Chris. All right, we lost him. Maybe we can see if we can get him back in. But yeah, it was really interesting to see what his descriptions of the pops were. All right, let's talk about Mysterios versus Usos. Oh, you back? Or no?
No, I'm not.
Oh, I guess not. So,
Can you hear me now?
the Mysterio. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
So,
Go ahead.
So yeah, what was your descriptions like? What was it like to hear Becky Lynch come back?
I mean, the reaction was spectacular. I mean, everybody was just happy to see her back. It was a little unexpected. Fun fact: JPL actually called this earlier when we figured that Sasha was going to make it. That Becky was probably going to come back and challenge Bianca for the title. I thought she was just going to go back to Raw. I thought it makes more sense, but it was still a moment to see her come out. I just think Bianca got screwed kind of in the process.
Yeah, a lot of people felt that way, especially on Twitter. So what was the reaction in the stadium when Bianca loses in less than 30 seconds?
Shock and awe. There were still people happy just because it was Becky Lynch back, but you could tell that a lot of people were not happy about the fact Bianca just lost like she did. That was just ridiculous.
In your opinion? Oh yeah, go ahead.
I have a question because we're talking about crowd reaction now. I know that a certain Brock Lesnar walked through the crowd towards the end of this pay-per-view. What was the reaction for Brock? Like, what was your reaction and the crowd's reaction to Lesnar reappearing and resurfacing after almost a year of being gone?
It was like 2012 again. People were, including yours truly, jumping up and down. I was jumping up and down so much I actually slipped and fell on the floor. It was just a moment.
Well, very good, man. Very good to hear. Any other like standout moments, things that you can recall, things that were like, wow, like amazing, being in the audience, being there live?
Cena and Edge, just tremendous interests. I don't know why they decided not to have pyro in the show, but I like the touch they did with Edge.
Yo, for real, and real quick, like there was no Titantron. Like what? I tuned in and I was like, yo, why does this look like a house show in Madison Square Garden? Like, did Nick Khan fire the Titantron?
I have no idea why they did that. Because I mean, the place wasn't sold out. Obviously, they tarped off like the whole section behind where I was sitting, where normally they could just put a stage there. So I don't know what they were doing, but whatever.
Yeah. Do you know that you made it onto TV?
Mike Knox said he saw me on TV, but because I sat in one spot at the beginning and then the second at the end. Well, for the first two matches, I sat in one spot, and then they came and got their chairs because we were not sitting where we were supposed to. So we found another spot on the other side, and we sat there the whole time. Yeah.
Good job. You did an upgrade.
Yeah.
Very good.
A self-imposed upgrade, which is great.
All right, Chris. Well, I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah, he did attack Cena. He gave him a few suplexes. I actually did get those recorded. I'm sending those to Steve now so we can get that uploaded.
Oh, awesome. We'll put those on our YouTube. Very good. Good job, Chris. Making me very happy. My birthday comes
I aim to
early
please. All right, I'll see you a lot of
videos. Copy that, man. Thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks, Chris.
Well, that was cool, man. He just joined us for this special SmackDown SummerSlam 2021 review. Guys, if you're watching Unpopular Review for the first time, we are Unpopular Review. We like to review wrestling, TV shows, all kinds of entertainment stuff. We have a sister station, UPRE, that's UPR Entertainment, Unpopular Review Entertainment. You can catch us on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, all that stuff. And definitely, if you are watching us on YouTube, please make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe, Alrighty. Steph, before we were joined by Chris to tell us what it was like in the stadium, we were going to talk about Mysterios versus Usos. Mysterios paying homage to the Hart Foundation. Although I did see somebody say it was the Macho Man. Which one did you think it was? Was it Bret Hart or was it the Macho Man?
I think it was closer to Macho Man, and that's only because my brother's a bigger wrestling fan than I am, and as soon as he sees the Mysterio's outfit, he goes, "That's Macho Man Randy Savage." And I looked over at him. I'm like, "You're probably right." So, according to him, it's the Macho Man. So I'll go with his pick. It's probably the most accurate.
Okay. So what did you think of this match? I mean, it was all right.
I thought it did what it had to. I feel like there were callbacks to other matches the Mysterios have had, and mind you, there was a singles match between the Mysterio and an Uso last night, and I took special exception to that last night. I just found that extremely pointless. But at the end of the day, the Mysterios lost and the Usos won. You kept the titles on the right people and you allowed them to walk out of SummerSlam with a W. So I feel like which direction do the Mysterios rather, go at this point? Like I don't know. Are they going for a split? Are they going to challenge again for like the 18th time? I don't
Hopefully
know.
not.
So I mean, we're going into Extreme Rules, and who is there's another question in my head, and it's like, who challenges the Usos? Who are going to step up to the Usos
Street
at this
Profits?
point? Street Profits have challenged already. They've challenged already. I mean, I could see it happening, or you could move the Alpha Academy up and allow the Alpha Academy to challenge, which would be. I know people. I'm just saying it could work, but we'll see. We'll see. We got to watch Friday night.
I don't know. We do have to watch Friday night. Plus, again, you've got the draft looking to reset stuff. Let me just catch up with a couple of these new comments. We got Manchester United Herbert. What's going on, Herbert? Watching us on YouTube. He says, WWE is relying on their ruthless aggression superstars to still on their current roster. It's absolutely atrocious. I hear what he's saying. I feel his sentiment, but let's be real. The story of SummerSlam is not Cena going over. It's not Brock going over. It was Roman decisively beating John Cena, the legend of the Ruthless Aggression era, decisively. Like, this is the passing of the torch in my eyes. This was Roman saying, I beat you. I washed you. Now there's only two mega champions left, Brock Lesnar, which he's already washed a couple of times, and his big cuz, The Rock. So that's it. And then Roman is the guy. He's officially the guy, which, listen, in this run has been phenomenal. I enjoy watching him. I'm surprised that so many people booed him. Like, they were really behind Cena. That was just shocking to me. Zoli says RK Bro has the new title championship. They do Zoli. They do. They are the new champions. Let me throw up a picture of them, just happy as can be, right there. There you go. Somewhere behind them is Chris, because he did give Riddle a pound. Let's see, what other comments do we have? Jamie says, I'm waiting on Dominik to turn on Ray. I feel like everybody's questioning that. Like, who turns on who?
I feel like Ray is going to be the one to get turned on. I feel like at this point, it's not going to be Ray turning on Dom. I feel like it's just the dynamic that they're setting up and just how they're teasing it. It's going to be Dom. And obviously, Dom's going to want to go off and do his own career stuff. And you have a famous father. And I feel like it happened with Charlotte Flair and Ric Flair. There was a point where Charlotte said, you're just Charlotte Flair's dad. And go to the back. Leave me alone. I don't want anything to do with you. And that was her turning heel, essentially. So you could go that route. You know what I mean? It's hard to live in famous parents' footsteps. And Rey Mysterio is one of the all-time greats of the wrestling business. So for Dom to carve out his own legacy, he has to leave his father's shadow and leave his father's side. But the best way to do that is same way Uncle Eddie did it, is to beat his father's ass, unfortunately. So that's where we're at.
Yeah. Let me catch up with a couple of comments. We got Dennis watching us on YouTube. What's going on, Dennis? He says, He felt this pay-per-view was boring and it felt like it dragged. You feel
Can't
like it dragged?
can't agree with that at all, Dennis. I feel like it felt longer because we've gotten so many short pay-per-views recently. But in
Hmm.
terms of pacing, in terms of just match quality, we got our money's worth if we paid for Peacock, and obviously they did a really great job with SummerSlam.
Yeah, I think so. I felt like this was again one of their best pay-per-views in a long, long time, like years. Like
Exactly.
you got Becky Lynch returning. You got a couple of key title swapping hands. You got Brock coming back. Like everybody was like, "Is he's talking to Tony Khan? Is he gonna go to AEW?
He
Who are the
fooled
free agents that are left?" And
fooled the hell
here's
out of
Brock.
us. Yeah, they fooled the hell out of us. They swerved us with that too. Like everybody's saying Brock's going to AEW, Brock's going to AEW, and Brock shows up at the end of SummerSlam, looks Roman right in the face, and Roman broke the fuck up out of there. He was like, "I want
You're like,
no parts of you tonight.
"Yep,
I just went over Cena. I want to go to the back and not have missionary precision sex. I want to have a good time, so I'm
yep,
out. You
that's
can
right.
stay and do whatever the hell you want to do."
That's absolutely right." Let's talk about the United States Championship, or as I feel bad for poor Tiffany Haddish. They had Tiffany Haddish backstage for like a quick segment. This was after Damian Priest won the U.S. title from Sheamus. Here she is interviewing Sheamus, and she introduces
Oh,
Damian Priest
sister.
as the national champion. Here comes the newly crowned national champion, Damian Priest. Here she is.
That is precisely why she was only on one time this show.
Oh, so
Because
sad.
so sad. She's so amazing. So sad that she got that wrong.
I know, I know. I really like Tiffany Haddish. She's got a great story. Like I read her book, and it's a really good story. Let's talk about this match, man. This was a hard hitting match. Like this is probably the hardest hitting match. Like you want to talk about strong style? Like Sheamus always wants to fucking fight, and this was a good match, pound for pound. Um, and also Jimmy Smith, this guy really showed out. This is his first major pay per view since he's come on to WWE. And this guy really impressed me with the amount of holds and the play by play he was calling. He was really on point. What'd you think?
I think honestly, like you said, the most hard hitting match tonight. There were knees, there was, headbutts with the face protector. It just was such a great put together match, and I literally enjoyed it from start to finish. And Sheamus always tries to get his stuff in and get his stuff in as hard as he possibly can. But Damian Priest is exactly the same way. And by the end of the match, I feel like this was one of those back and forth matches that we didn't know which way it was going to go. There were moments where you thought it was Sheamus because Damian one time he jumped off the ropes and Sheamus catches him with a knee, and you think that's got to be it. Another time, Sheamus headbutts him with the face protector on, and then Bro kicks him, and you're like, that's got to be it. And it
Yeah.
wasn't. So, Damian Priest finally hit the lights, and you see the finish, and it's like the right guy won, and then gets called a national champion as soon as he.
But he was so smooth. Like, this is why, like, Riddle gets it, right? Riddle knows where the camera is. Riddle knows where he's supposed to, like, smile and cheese it up and make a goofy face, or when he gets punched and pounded, he knows when to, like, really sell it to the camera. Damian Priest is the same way, like the same dude. He knows exactly what his spot is, and he's cool, calm, and collective the entire time. So even when she, like, flops and calls it the national title, he didn't even like immediately correct her. He just like went through his spiel, the stuff he needed to say, hit the bullet points, and then at the end he goes, and now this is why I am proud to be your WWE United States champion. And then he kind of winks at her, and she's like, yes you are, yes you are. I don't even think she realized she made the mistake. But I mean, he's a pro. Damian Priest is a pro.
Definitely.
Let's talk about it. Dennis says he's really happy to be for Damian Priest. Absolutely, this dude, Punishment Martinez, deserved it. This guy's a superstar. It's a shame that he's as mature. I'm not gonna say he's old because the guy can still probably go. Definitely a way better shape than I am. But this dude, what a year, man! What a year to be. He's in a jacuzzi with Brandy Lauren. Then he's in matches with
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny, hanging out with
He's
Bad
winning.
Bunny. I'm sure this dude's got plenty of stories of hanging out with Bad Bunny. And now he's the U.S. champion. Like, this guy's living on top of the world. Damien Priest is having a
Amazing.
good year. So, absolutely. I agree with you, Derek. Zoli calling Sasha Banks a coward. Jesus. That is some
That's
harsh.
harsh. That's harsh.
That's harsh. Wow.
That's harsh. The harshest SummerSlam assessment. Damn.
I know. Wow. That's crazy. Let's talk
Jesus.
about this Seth Rollins versus Edge match. This was a really good match. And Edge got 2 entrances. I think this was like a match of the year candidate, right? Like, it was definitely match of the night in my opinion. The fans were in it. There was no title on the line. These guys really showed out. And the minute Edge had 2 entrances, right? He got his Brood entrance and he gets his regular Edge entrance. If you get 2 entrances, you can't fucking lose, right?
I feel like that's the standard. I mean, once like we saw Brood Edge yesterday on SmackDown, and
Yeah.
he gave Seth Rollins the Brood bath. Seth comes out in all white, and you literally know in WWE you come out in all white, you're either getting shit, vomit, or blood dropped on you. Doesn't matter. It's like this is the most unsuccessful color to wear in WWE, but literally the entrance, like from it just told Edge's story, just kind of, from start of his career with the Brood to where he is now in 2 entrances, and it just was so phenomenal. And it just like Edge one time had a joke about character development, and I feel like he's in the same vein as Undertaker, Chris Jericho, because he's transitioned his character from Brood Edge to Rated R Superstar to sort of Family Guy Edge, and then back again, and it just
Family Guy.
I mean, I'm sorry, he's the original Family Guy. I'm sorry, step aside, Dominik Toretto. It was Edge that started that whole thing,
Oh.
but I think that
I was
honestly,
thinking of Peter Griffin, Family
hey,
Guy.
look,
I was like,
but I honestly think, like you said, if you got 2 goddamn entrances, you better make damn sure that you win your match successfully. And Edge did just that, and I popped so big for that match. The match from start to finish,
yeah.
incredible match. Edge pulling out moves that we have not seen in ages. Rollins putting out his greatest moves, and mind you, this is the first time these 2 dudes have locked up.
Yeah.
This is literally the first time ever. And this match was teased 7 years ago. We did not know we were going to get this match.
Yep.
So for Edge to return, and I know this is kind of a lengthy answer, but to see Edge turn, to see Edge come back, and then to continue a storyline that literally the only reason those seeds were planted was to get Rollins over as a dick when he was part of the Authority.
Mm-hmm.
So to have that come back and essentially, like Edge said, bite you in the ass, literally, he submits Rollins. He submitted Rollins. It wasn't even a spear win. It was a sub. And that never happens to Rollins.
Yep.
I don't think Rollins, if he has been submitted in his career, great, but a serious loss like this on a serious Big 4 pay-per-view, and Edge looked like money. Rollins looked like money. It was an amazing match. Derek says Daniel Bryan wore all white with AJ Lee on their TV wedding, and it didn't end well. Point taken. Jamie says if Gangrel would have came out with Edge, now that would have been awesome. I mean, definitely the vibes would have been there if Gangrel had come out. I think if Christian was still in the company, that would have been something that would have been amazing. Having the entire Brood come out, and then having Edge kind of just walk ahead of them and hit that second entrance, kind of looking back, give them a wink, and then hit that second entrance and go the rest of the distance by himself. I feel like that would have been pretty cool too.
Yeah, that's a good point. All good points. One thing that the match was awesome, right? So I think you said it all. The one thing that I think we haven't discussed was the sign at the front, in one of the front rows was, I guess, directed towards Seth Rollins. Break his back, make him humble, which is a callback to the Iron Sheik. So I thought that was very funny. But yeah, man, listen, if this is not on your list of matches of best of the year, I don't know what's wrong with you, man, because this was a banger of a match. Like, this was the match of the night. This is one of the probably top 5 that I've seen thus far this year. Seth and Edge. When you saw CM Punk give this promo about, like, I came back to kind of, like, mix it up with the best in the world. Listen, I don't remember Edge being this damn good in the ring. Like, the match that he had with Randy Orton, the match that he had with Seth, like, this dude is turning it up. Like, good for Edge.
He reminds me of Shawn when Shawn came back from injury after 4 years. And
Yes.
we thought we had seen Shawn's best, 4 years prior when he was literally Hellraiser Shawn backstage. But Shawn came back, literally Bible thumping, prayerful Shawn, and literally showed us that even in your latter years, you can still turn up in the ring and you can still do something. And Edge is proving that, like, literally, like you said, match of the night. I know I kind of shared that with Roman and Cena, but I think in terms of storytelling, both of these matches did exactly what they needed to do for exactly the purposes that they needed to do it for. And I feel like that's what kind of brings them to the top matches of tonight. If I have to say 1 and 2, then Rollins and obviously Edge would be number 1, and then Cena and Reigns would be number 2. Just in terms of storytelling and in terms of
in-ring psychology.
In-ring psychology and continuation of the story. Because mind you, Reigns had already faced off against Cena before and gotten a W. Edge himself, and I do agree with that sentiment from Denise, which was Edge is underrated completely. And I feel like promo-wise, he's an amazing promo. Like, look at the promos he's been cutting lately. Like, God mode promos. Even when he went out before his match with Randy Orton, he's cutting some fire promos. And just like, he used a glam slam in the match tonight. Yeah. I do not understand. If you guys do not know, if you're living under a rock for some reason, the Glamazon Beth Phoenix is Edge's real life wife. That is her finish. He picks Seth Rollins up, reverses a move into a glam slam, picture perfect glam slam for a near 3 count. And it was just, amazing. That's pro wrestling. Yep. That's sports entertainment.
Yes. Agreed. Look, Dennis is marking out right here in the chat. Yo, that glam slam was so awesome. Yes, sir.
I did not think you could be. Look, I feel like I've always wanted to see a male wrestler pull off a female wrestler's move, just because, obviously with AJ Styles and Undertaker's wife has the Faith Breaker, and AJ Styles has the Silence Clash. Very similar moves. I wanted to see somebody do Charlotte Flair's the move where she flips over their head. I forgot the name.
It's Natural Selection.
Natural Selection. Thank you, brother. Thank you both. Natural Selection. Like, it would have been so fun to see somebody just pull off that move, but to see Edge pay homage to his wife in the middle of a match, that is something that normally isn't done, but he just added that very quickly, and it was a very subtle thing. For many people who weren't paying attention to the match, you kind of missed that. You got to go back and watch the match in whole. Like, if you guys are saying, like Steven said it earlier, if you guys are thinking that this isn't match of the year quality, it's not your top 5, you are out of your freaking mind, and you need to go watch an indie promotion somewhere. But this was literally WWE's doubling down on, we are the premier wrestling company. This is why we're not worried about AEW doing what they do. They can have CM Punk. This is why we do what we do. 7 years in the making, first time ever, and they knock it the fuck out of the park, out of the freaking stadium completely. Like, there was no match on this card that bested this match in terms of what it did for both of these gentlemen. Seth Rollins, even in loss, didn't look bad.
It definitely checked all the boxes, like you said earlier. Let's talk about, we got 2 more matches to go, and then pretty much wrapping up. So guys, please make sure if you got any other questions, comments, you want our thoughts on anything that happened tonight or in anything in wrestling, and you want to just pick our brain, throw those comments, questions in the chat right now, because we are wrapping it up. We're rounding third base. You guys, if you haven't just tuning in, Unpopular Review. This is Unpopular Review. We like to talk about wrestling. We like to talk about movies. We like to review TV shows. We got recent reviews for What If. We got recent reviews for Suicide Squad and a bunch of other movies on our sister network, UPRE. Just search it for it. It's UPRE, Unpopular Review Entertainment. You're going to find it. Here, you're going to find wrestling on our YouTube. Wrestling, comments, specials, all kinds of stuff, predictions, yada yada yada. So please make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Dennis, I know you're new here, man. I hope we gained a fan with you, and I hope you like and subscribe to Unpopular Review. Let's talk about McIntyre versus Jinder, and then we're gonna go to the what Jamie said is the third best match of the night, which is Bliss and Evolution. I know you're just kidding, Jamie. And we're talking about McIntyre versus Jinder. What were your quick thoughts on this match?
All right. Now I've mentioned that I was at my brother's house, or I'm at my brother's house, and I promised last night on the SmackDown review that this was the match that I would more likely go to the bathroom and stay in the bathroom to the end of the match, like from bell to bell. I did not give a shit about this match. This match on the card, I understand the history that these two gentlemen have, former WWE champions, former stablemates, the whole thing. This was over a sword in a motorcycle. This was extremely stupid. And it was one of those matches that I literally said yesterday I was going to put a picture of McIntyre and Mahal in my toilet and have it sitting there because this match was shit. This was the and mind you, the next match we're going to talk about is shit too. So I guess I would have been there for 2 matches, but unfortunately my brother's daughter was in the bathroom, so I could not go. So I had to sit through this abomination of a match, and I felt the exact same way. It was a waste of a match. McIntyre tried to commit murder after the match was over. He swings his claymore at Shaking Veer and Mahal after the match ends, after he's won the match and whooped Jinder Mahal's ass decisively. Yep. At that point, I was like, all right, this man is willing to do anything. This is somebody that needs to be in jail, no longer WWE superstar. If you're going to attempt a murder, like, come on, bro. You won the match. Just leave.
Yep, I totally agree with you. The only comment that I had on this match was if he's going to swing the sword, if he's going to swing the sword, he better slice someone. Like, what the fuck is the point? Like,
he's not from Brooklyn. He's not from Brooklyn. He's not swinging to slice somebody. He's not swinging to kill somebody. Exactly.
Like,
he's not.
What the fuck? Like,
Jesus.
I don't need to see him swinging this fucking broadsword and he's not going to fucking really hit somebody. Like, I need to see him hit somebody. Like, and I know this is not the end of this fucking feud, so we've got more thoughts to come, I guess, because I get the feeling that we're going to see a Punjabi prison match, which I was disappointed that we didn't get here, but I understand there's only so much time. The only other criticism that I have of it was this match was placed right after the Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair thing. And so, like, the minute you guys go into, like, 4-minute territory, 5-minute territory, I'm thinking, how the fuck are these guys get so much time? And they fucking took away Becky and Sasha. But
I really think this should have been pre-show. I'm sorry to say it. I really think this should have been a pre-show, kickoff show, whatever they call it. Because a match like this, you could have literally. I would have rather, and I'm sorry to say it. I am not a Baron. I used to not be a Baron Corbin fan. He's growing on me now. But I would have moved Baron Corbin and Big E onto the main card and moved this onto the kickoff show. This had no point. Literally, there's Mr. Money in the Bank attempting to get his briefcase back. This has implications on both your WWE Championship match and your Universal Championship match if Big E decides to cash in tonight. Why the fuck wasn't he on the main card? Why was he on kickoff?
Yeah, but also, like, I can counter argue, why would you have 2 former WWE champions as your warm-up show, right? Like, in the pre-show, right? Like, Baron Corbin is a joke right now, and he's won me over. Like, I used to be the biggest Baron Corbin hater. In fact, at a WrestleMania, I think it was WrestleMania, I think the WrestleMania 27, was it? One of the early WrestleManias a couple years ago, it was him versus Dean Ambrose, and I fell asleep. Granted, I drank like 2 40s in the parking lot, and I chugged those shits right before I walked in. So technically, I didn't fall asleep.
You had an 80.
Yeah, I had 2 4 Locos that were like yay big, and then I was like out. Like, I should put this picture in the chat, but I was out. Like, I was like Weekend at Bernie's fucking out. Like, I had sunglasses on. But I woke up as AJ Styles started the show. I think it was like WrestleMania 32 or 33. Can't remember. Yeah, man. Again, that's that match. So I don't got anything else to say. Let's talk about these chats. Dennis says, yes, Baron and Big E should have been on the main show. We've got Zoli. He don't know this Edge. Edge had to go back to a place, but he didn't want to go back to. Oh, that's right, man. We got it. There you go. Thank you. I knew it was 32. Corbin and Ambrose. I fell asleep during that fucking match. I told you I can't stand Ambrose. If you watch me do the fucking AEW review here on Unpopular Review. You know I can't stand fucking Moxley. Can't stand Ambrose. Fucking him and his fucking dad bod. Listen, I can't shit on him because I myself, I'm fat. But listen, I'm not a professional wrestler. I don't get paid to fucking go to the gym and look good, right? Like for a living. I get paid for other shit. And that's why I look like the way I do. But if you're getting paid for a living, you should look like fucking Drew McIntyre. But that's just my opinion.
Good point. Good point.
Dennis says 4 Locos. Damn, bro. Yeah, 2 4 Locos. That's right.
2 4 Locos.
That's an 8 Loco.
That literally is an 8 Loco.
That was my tradition for a couple of WrestleManias. I will draw back like, a bunch of 4 Locos.
Can't have a tradition with you. I would not make it. I would not make it out of that fucking parking lot.
I'd end up like Chris.
Exactly. Jamie says, could we see Edge and Beth versus Seth and Becky? Hell no. No.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Because
I don't want it.
Too much of a face. You can't have heel Seth with Becky. It would be great on paper. Don't get me wrong. I think it would be a banger of a match, but Becky's not going to turn heel at this point.
Exactly. She just got back. She's super over. She's a super face right now.
Yeah.
There's no way you're turning her heel at this point.
You can't be turning someone that just like had a baby and she's been like one of your most over faces in the last 5 years as a heel off the jump. Like,
exactly. You got to build up to that.
Yeah. I want to say I saw. Here we go. Elvis. What if Brock beats Roman for the championship and Roman snaps and beats down Brock? Then Big E cashes in on Brock. Payback is a bitch. Book it.
Okay,
wow.
I have that's really okay. Out of all the unintelligent things you have said during your time as a fan on Unpopular Reviews, I would have to say this is mildly. I'm not even saying it's super intelligent because I'm not going to ever give you that much credit, Elvis. But this is mildly. I could possibly see it happen. Yeah. Possibly. What about you?
What the problem is that I can't see is like. You want the way that they're building Roman is that he is such an uber heel and unstoppable. They're building him to be Thanos level, right?
Literally.
And so you need an Avengers level superhero face to beat him. And the only guy on the roster is Big E. He's super over with the fans. You look at him and you know this guy's fucking money. Like, he's exactly what Vince wants. He wants a guy that, guys want to be, girls want to be with. Now, granted, I don't see a lot of ladies clamoring about, let me get some of Big E. They're always, like, clamoring and getting wet for Roman. But I don't hear that about our boy.
It's because they don't like Missionary every night. So, once Roman mentioned that, he was over as fuck with the ladies. I mean, he's always been over with ladies, but at the same time, once they found out about what his sex likes were, they were like, yeah, I could fucking ride on the Samoan tribal chief train.
Oh, my God.
Literally.
Yep. Jamie says, is this hurting Drew or is he back to mid-card? I think he is back to mid-card, but that's okay. Like, again, you think about all great, not everybody can be like in the main event all the time. Like, you had bouts where The Undertaker, right, was in the mid-card sometimes. He always felt like a main guy because he's The Undertaker. Kane was that way. Cena was that way. There was a whole year and a half where, like, everybody was like, Cena's always the champion. Cena's always being forced down on throws. There was a good 18 months where Cena was just in the mid-card. Like, remember that run where he had the U.S. title?
Yep.
Like, that's mid-card Cena. Like, it's okay. People can be in the mid-card.
And Jamie, remember, Drew McIntyre cannot challenge for the WWE Championship so long as Bobby Lashley is WWE Champion. That was a stipulation of their last match, and Drew did lose that match. So that is call for him to go to the mid-card. He can't be in the main event scene right now because Lashley's still our WWE champion. Now, as soon as Lashley loses that chip, it's fucking open season, and Drew's going to shoot the fuck back up. And especially if he ends up on SmackDown, and he can go up against Roman. I think that's a potential match to do as well. If they shift the pieces and they send him to SmackDown, I feel like that's one of the first matches they're going to do because he is the type of face that can beat Roman as well if they shift Big E to Raw. So that's things that could come out of the draft, just if you're thinking about that stuff.
Yeah, I just don't want him to go to Raw because then you take away Roman versus Big E from me. I want that to be
but then you give us, you take away one thing, but you give us the rubber match essentially for McIntyre versus Reigns, which we all could see Reigns ending Roman's streak as well, because he is a big enough face that he could do it as well. So, I mean, Big E
I
is
don't
just
know about
more.
that.
I think so. I mean, people were behind him for I believe Survivor Series when they fought each other. Champion
They
versus
were,
champion.
but again, that was in the middle of the chase, and just when he kind of got the title, like then he got into this like he was being real corny, right? Like he was like I was explaining this to a buddy of mine, like reminds me a lot of Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash in real life is corny, and like you see it in his promos. Like everybody thought, oh, Diesel couldn't cut a promo, but then when he becomes Kevin Nash in WCW, he still can't cut a promo. Like,
Damn.
and I like Kevin Nash. I mean, granted, look at my fucking name, right? Big Daddy Cool
I
is
got some comments on that. I was like, yeah.
is based on Diesel, right? So like, why would Drew McIntyre? I don't know. I just don't feel like he's gonna get over again like that
I
unless he turns heel.
I feel like he will. I feel like it's a run. I feel like, essentially, like we could say the same thing about Cena in some respects. You just need a big enough heel to put him in that level. And like tonight, Cena was completely put over as the face throughout this entire run by Roman Reigns. Like Roman Reigns elevated Cena to that super baby face status that Cena has wanted for so long. And boys, women, men, everybody was cheering for Cena, and we all thought he was getting 17. McIntyre, same way. You need a super heel to create a super face. And
Mm-hmm.
McIntyre's already lost to Reigns. So I feel like that would be a really good story, even if it's not completed by McIntyre, even if it's Big E. I mean, we got to think of the opportunities for change when it comes to the main roster, switching up gears, adding people from NXT, all this other stuff. So we'll see in the next few weeks, but I think Reigns is good enough to elevate McIntyre back to that level that he was before.
Yeah.
And they're like the promo skills of McIntyre. McIntyre is not, Kevin Nash. He could cut a promo. McIntyre could
Mm-hmm.
definitely cut a promo when he wants to. Like when he first won the WWE Championship, he was cutting fire ass promos, and everybody was like, "Oh shit, nobody else is doing this."
I don't
But
remember those.
I don't. It seems like a long time ago, right?
Yes.
But now it's like he's talking about family lineages and Loch Ness monsters and shit. So I understand what you mean by he's getting corny, but the
Yeah.
moment it comes to a
He's
really
like Roman
good
Reigns
future,
tater tots level. Remember when Roman Reigns was
exactly.
mentioning
But
tater
guess what?
tots?
It took how what did it take to get Roman over? Like you said, it took a heel turn. But maybe for McIntyre, it's a brand switch. Maybe it's a fresh environment, fresh opponents, and
Maybe,
new
or maybe turning
storylines.
heel.
Or maybe, I mean, I'm not going to completely take that away from you.
That's what I think. Let's quickly catch up to these comments and then go down my favorite match. And yes, Elvis, I did watch that match with my pants down. That's how I watch all Ava Marie matches, with my pants down. Jamie is that?
Oh my
We already
God.
read that one. Dennis is asking, so how does Bianca recover? Does Bianca turn heel? Bianca doesn't need to turn heel. So here's how. Listen, let's
To your last point, sir, to your last point, she's
let's
gotten a little
remember.
stale and corny too. So,
Agreed, but she was starting to turn it up on Sasha the last couple of weeks, right? She was like,
she,
you make me gag, like, all this shit was like real hard stuff. So like I was all right, okay, you're gonna give me more of this? Like, they really gonna get street with each other? I could buy
I
in.
mean, but
But
given the fact that you have super over Becky Lynch, are you going to have face versus face at this point? Or are you going to turn Bianca heel on Becky? Which would be
no, you don't even need to do that. So here's how
Go ahead.
here's how you solve it in my eyes. You have Becky versus Sasha, right? You have her defend, rematch for the championship. She puts up a valiant effort, still takes an L, right? She can get over without going over in the way that she fights Becky. And then you have her switch over to Raw. And then she faces Charlotte. Charlotte can take an L to Becky. So now you have Bianca. She washed Sasha. She washed Bayley. And she washed Charlotte. And so the one person that isn't left that she hasn't been able to conquer is Becky Lynch. And that's WrestleMania. Bang. That's how you save
Okay,
Bianca Belair.
That's how you save her from not turning heel. But if you want to go the easier route, the route less travel, then you just turn ass heel, and you give us a pretty simple storyline. I'm just saying, what would WWE do versus what we want to do? Said it last night, so I'll say it again tonight. What would you want versus what they would actually do?
Yep. All right. Let's run quickly through this. Why did they have the Miz segment? The Miz segment, obviously, because Nestle paid a lot of money to put over their fucking water. So that's why you saw that there. God only knows how much they got from Nestle for that. That's a Nick Khan thing right there. That's cross promotion. Brett Farmer says, can we point out how inconsistent it is for it to be okay for Cena to sign Balor's contract, but it's not okay for Corbin to steal the briefcase? Well, obviously, because Cena and Corbin is a guy without a job. He's working for free? What is it?
I also think that Cena said it last night. They were booking him to go over. He literally said it last night on SmackDown. He said, look, blue Sharpie signed contract that I stole. Is that even legal? He's like, nah, it's not. Yeah. So he's like, I didn't come to cut a promo on you. I came to demote your ass. So even Cena said it. Elvis says Finn versus
what happens
Roman?
to Finn? What do you think happens to? Yeah, because this was what was supposed to happen before Brock showed up. Now what happens to Finn?
Here's the thing, right? You got Cena for Super SmackDown. You have Cena for at least a few more weeks right now for the summer. In the summer of Cena, he could put over some people while he's here. He could put over Finn Balor, and you can move it to that match in that direction if you want to. Brock just got back. I think that. I think that Finn said whoever wins this match, I got the scraps, and didn't show up. And I think I was betting on either Biggie or Finn to show up. And there was no screw job. This match was like Roman won clean as a fucking whistle. So Elvis, shut up. Just shut up. You're distracting me. But I think that it yeah, but I honestly think that I don't know. I feel like he should be. Yeah, exactly. I feel like he should be. That Finn should verse off at least one of them, either Cena or Reigns, and I feel like it could be Cena to get some credibility back. And honestly, it was Cena that stole his contract, so I feel like that's the direction you go in.
Yeah. Let's see. Remember her heel run in NXT was pretty dope. Dennis is referring to Bianca. That's right. I mean, it was, but we can't have all the faces turn heel. Like what Nikki Ash proves is none of the heels are good enough at getting faces over in a legit way, with the exception of Charlotte Flair.
And Roman Reigns.
And Roman Reigns. Thank you. Charlotte in that match against Nikki Ash in Chicago, bunch of smart fans over there, they turned on Nikki Ash. They were booing, and then they turned, and by the end of the match, they were cheering. Why? Because Charlotte was that fucking good at her job. This is what's missing from the other heels that are against Bianca. And also, Bianca needs this. Let's be real. It's Vince too, right? Vince is saying, listen, I need you to be sugary sweet. And it's going to take someone like Bianca and possibly Sasha to be like, boss, this ain't working for me. Let's switch it up. Let me do it. And
I mean, New Day did it. So
exactly
do it.
But notice, that's the trajectory of success here. You got to go up to Vince and man up to him and be like, this ain't working for me, boss. This is my idea. Let me do it. New Day did it. They're money, right? They're never leaving.
Reigns did it.
Money. Seth does it. Becky does it. Charlotte does it. Edge does it. All these guys can easily go up to Vince and be like, yeah, no, I'm not doing this. I think it should be this. Nikki Ash, she came up with the superhero thing. Gets pushed, she becomes a champion. She's the most successful she's ever been in her entire career. Even everybody's begging for Nikki Ash to turn into Nikki Cross again. But why? She's the most successful now. It just needs a good heel. She needs a good heel. Is tomorrow night Adam Cole's last night in WWE? Nope. I think he's gonna show up on Monday Night Raw.
I'm torn. I think that there's a possibility. I feel like there's a possibility for anything in the wrestling industry. So I'm kind of torn on that one. I think that he's gonna lose tomorrow.
Wrong.
Finn is back to catering. Shut up.
Yeah, I think Cole does lose tomorrow, but I think
He is going to lose, but it doesn't if you lose a match, you're not going to go to another company because you're taking an L. But if they're not offering you the contract that you want, obviously their contract disputes, that's why Brock was out for so long, but they got it straight with Brock, so they're going to get it straight with Adam Cole. Derek says Finn is going back to the mid card, maybe to challenge King Nakamura.
Maybe.
That would be a money match if they allow Nakamura to do what he did in New Japan, which
Ava Marie is by far the best female wrestler ever in any promotion.
Can you put that Roman picture back up? Put that Roman picture back up real quick, please. Listen, what the fuck are you talking about? It is literally, I'm sorry, I'm going to go to a mini rant. It is 1:44 in the morning. We are covering a show. You said Eva Marie is literally the best female wrestler in the world or in the promotion? Elvis.
Listen, let's talk about this last match. Leave. Ava Marie versus Alexa Bliss. Were you surprised that Alexa didn't get a special entrance? Were you disappointed at all?
No.
I felt like some people were online. They thought that she should have gotten a Bray Wyatt type entrance. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right here, honestly, Doudrop is a piece of shit. How are you gonna fucking hire somebody as a bodyguard and then she fucking goes into business for herself and starts mocking you for fucking losing? She's the boss. This is why Ava Marie slapped the shit out of her on Monday, and this is why Ava Marie should slap the shit out of her Monday night too. This is fucked up. She needs to be fired. I want to see on Monday night Ava Marie call Doudrop's ass to the ring and be like, "Bitch, you're fired."
As somebody was previously fired from unpopular reviews and wanted to slap the shit out of the boss myself, I mean, definitely understand why Doudrop would mock the boss and go out on her own steam. So, Doudrop, to me, you're my hero because I didn't slap the hell out of Chris Harris before I was fired from UBR. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. But I feel like, honestly, it's come time for Doudrop to literally fucking turn back into Piper Piven and start killing people on the main roster.
You don't even know her name, Piper Piven. See, there you go. Her name is Doudrop.
Her name is Piper Piven. I'm sorry, I can't. Doudrop is just so fucking stupid. That's all I have to say about this.
If you're watching Ava Marie, I'm telling you right now, baby, do us all a favor and Doudrop that bitch. How about that? Guys, you're watching Unpopular Review. I'm Big Daddy Cool. This has been Steph. We're doing a fantastic job reviewing SummerSlam 2021 and having a great time. Thank you for all your comments. If you haven't already, please make sure you like, love, share this broadcast, this link with all your wrestling fans, friends. Tell them, hook them up, expand this UPR community so that way we got more people to talk to about wrestling, the thing we love most. And if you're watching, again, on YouTube, like, subscribe, so that way you guys hit that bell button down somewhere down over that way, down below Steph, so that way you can get notifications when we go live. We go live after every major wrestling show. So we're talking about Raw, we're talking about NXT, we're talking about AEW, SmackDown. Sorry, Impact, not doing a review for Impact. Sorry, AAA, not doing a review for AAA. Jamie says, Doudrop is hot. Yeah, I'm sure she just walks down the road and she's pretty hot. Probably just sweating profusely.
I shall Doudrop into her DMs. Shut up. Shut up, Steven.
All right, guys. All right.
We are always delirious because it's 1:48.
Exactly. That's right. Steph has said it all. Steph, have we said everything? We covered all of SummerSlam.
We are done covering SummerSlam. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Like as Steven said, please, if you're on YouTube, subscribe. Please hit the bell. Like this if you're on Facebook or any other of our platforms. Share this with all your wrestling fan pages. And join us for our NXT review show tomorrow directly after NXT. The Captain Shay will be on with Bad Guy Jack tomorrow night. So please do join us for that. Then on Monday night, you will have Monday Night Raw with the executive consultant and whoever else is on Monday Night Raw. So please join us. We have wrestling throughout the next week. And thank you all for all your comments tonight. You guys have been awesome.
Absolutely, and I want to also shout out a couple of the lurkers. Lurkers are fine. I don't mind you guys not having to jump into the chat or not. I see a couple of likes on the
lurkers.
Facebook.
Got
Yes,
lurkers.
Chatu, thank you for the like, my
Chatu.
man.
Chatu.
And
That's a
I'm
strong
sorry
name.
I'm sorry if I butcher this, my man, but I really apologize. Ubaidu. I think I got that right. Ubaidu. Much love to you, my man. And everybody that dropped likes tonight, thank you very much for watching. Last comment of the night is going to be Jamie's. Jamie says, Dewdrop is silly. I absolutely agree.
That
That's
says
what it says.
Lily. That says
What?
Lily. That
No,
says
I'm pretty
Lily.
sure
You
it
said
says-
silly.
I'm pretty
I'm
sure
pretty
it
sure it
says
says
silly.
Lily. I'm pretty sure we just need to get off air. Derek, thank you so much. We appreciate you for being here, brother. Thank you. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, guys. Thank you all, and have a great night. And yeah, we'll see you around for the next one. Take it easy, guys.
Later, everyone.